The Boston Celtics have done it again, and the ripple effect of this move is already making noise across the league. Boston has signed Kendall Brown, a 21-year-old forward with jaw-dropping athleticism and untapped potential, and the timing of this addition could not be more electrifying. With Jayson Tatum out for the season, and a depth chart reshaped by summer departures, the front office has quietly prepared a chess move that could redefine the next chapter of Celtics basketball. Fans who think they know how this roster will look in a few months might want to think twice, because the path from training camp to the regular season just became a lot more intriguing. Before we dive deeper into the reasons why this signing could end up being a turning point for Boston, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the hype button so you never miss a single update as this story unfolds in real time. Your support keeps this community growing and gives you front row access to every surprise the Celtics have in store. Now, let's talk about Kendall Brown and why his arrival is more than just a routine camp signing. Drafted 48th overall in the 2022 NBA Draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves and quickly rerouted to the Indiana Pacers, Brown spent 2 seasons proving he belongs in the league even if his opportunities were limited. His NBA resume lists only 21 games, but that number hides a much larger story. In the G League, he was a force, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and over 1 steal per game, while shooting 57% from the field and 40% from beyond the arc. Those are not empty numbers. They reveal a player who finishes at the rim with authority, runs the floor with relentless energy, and punishes defenses when left open from distance. Boston did not stumble into this signing by accident. With Tatum recovering and the team aiming to stay within financial control, the front office has targeted young players who can grow quickly and provide upside without draining the payroll. Brown fits this blueprint perfectly. At 6'8", he offers length and athletic finishing that can shift the pace of a game. His performance with the Celtics Summer League squad showed elite efficiency with shooting splits that would make any coach take notice. Those flashes are exactly the kind of low-cost gamble that can pay off in a big way when a team is searching for hidden gems to complement established stars. The competition for a two-way slot will not be easy. Boston already has Amari Williams and Max Shulga from the 2025 draft and R.J. Luis Jr. acquired via trade. Brown will have to battle fellow camp addition Jalen Bridges, a steadier shooter but less explosive athlete. The front office loves internal competition, and this is where the curiosity builds. Will Brown's sheer athleticism and ability to pressure the rim force the coaching staff to make a bold choice, or will the Celtics hold steady with their current young core? Every practice and every scrimmage will carry weight because the team understands that the right development piece can turn into a playoff contributor faster than anyone expects. For fans, the most exciting part of this signing is not what Brown has done, but what he could become in Boston's system. Imagine a player with the speed to run alongside Jaylen Brown, the vertical explosion to finish lobs from Peyton Pritchard, and the defensive tools to switch across multiple positions. If his jumper continues to hold, he could be the kind of two-way weapon that allows Boston to play faster and more unpredictably, a dangerous combination when postseason basketball demands versatility. This move is also a signal about the larger vision in Boston. With Tatum healing, the Celtics are not waiting for next year to plan their future. They are stacking the roster with cost-controlled talent and betting on their ability to develop difference makers from within. Brown's signing is not a headline grabber in September, but it could become the type of story that fans look back on as the moment the Celtics unearthed another crucial piece of a championship puzzle. Keep watching training camp because every dunk, every defensive stop, and every three-pointer from Kendall Brown will tell us whether this quiet addition is about to become Boston's next big discovery. Boston's quiet but deliberate reshaping of its roster is not stopping with the surprise signing of Kendall Brown, and the story that began with a hidden gem could soon take an even more dramatic turn. While Brown battles for a two-way spot and fans debate how his athleticism might change the team's pace, a far bigger question is now creeping into the conversation. Could the Celtics bring back one of the most beloved defensive anchors of the past decade? The whispers around the league are getting louder, and they point toward a potential reunion with Robert Williams III, a move that would send shockwaves through the NBA and ignite a new wave of hope in Boston. Now, let's step into the center of the mystery. Robert Williams left Boston as part of a trade that many believed was simply the cost of doing business, but the Celtics never closed the emotional door on a return. During his prime years in green, Williams was more than just a rim protector. He was the heartbeat of a defense that carried Boston to the NBA Finals in 2022 and the Eastern Conference Finals the very next season. His timing as a shot blocker, his explosive vertical game, and his instinctive passing out of short rolls gave Boston a unique weapon that few teams could counter. Opponents feared his presence in the paint, and teammates trusted him to erase mistakes. Since the trade to the Portland Trail Blazers, his journey has been defined by frustration and curiosity. Injuries cut his minutes to just 26 games across 2 seasons, and yet scouts continue to rave about the flashes of brilliance that remain. When healthy, he still alters shots with the same anticipation that once made him a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He still finishes lobs with a force that energizes crowds, and he still sees the floor with the kind of quick reads that unlock Boston's offensive rhythm. The question is not whether Robert Williams can play. The question is whether his body will allow him to reclaim that impact at the highest level. The Celtics front office is watching every development with quiet intensity. Next summer, Boston is projected to have access to the full mid-level exception worth roughly $15 million for the first year. That financial tool is powerful enough to make a reunion realistic without jeopardizing long-term flexibility. If Williams proves his health and shows the explosiveness that once defined him, the Celtics could craft a team-friendly contract that rewards upside while protecting the organization from risk. It is the kind of calculated swing that championship teams take when they sense that the window for contention is still wide open. This possibility becomes even more intriguing when you consider the current state of Boston's frontcourt. Kristaps Porzingis was traded to the Atlanta Hawks, Luke Kornet and Al Horford have moved on, and the team is testing a mix of Nemias Queta, Luka Garza, Amari Williams, and Chris Boucher. Each player offers unique skills, but none combine proven elite defense with intimate knowledge of Boston's system the way Robert Williams does. Queta has breakout buzz, but remains largely untested. Garza provides offense, but must prove he can defend at playoff speed. Amari Williams and Boucher bring energy, but lack the playoff scars that Robert carries. Imagine the scenario that keeps rival executives awake at night. Jason Tatum returns healthy, Jaylen Brown continues to dominate, and the Celtics suddenly add a rejuvenated Robert Williams patrolling the paint with the same force that once terrorized Eastern Conference opponents. That is not a distant fantasy. It is a realistic outcome if the Celtics decide that internal development needs a proven defensive anchor, and if Robert's body allows him to seize the opportunity. The front office is unlikely to reveal its hand before next summer, but the clues are already in place. Boston values familiarity, values players who can step into high-pressure situations without a learning curve, and values contracts that align with a long-term vision. Robert Williams checks every box if the medical reports come back clean. His chemistry with Tatum and Jaylen Brown is already written in playoff history, and his presence could unlock small ball lineups that combine speed, rim protection, and offensive versatility. For fans, the excitement is not just about nostalgia. It is about the possibility of adding a piece that can immediately tilt the balance of power back toward Boston. Every report of Robert's recovery, every mention of mid-level exception strategy, and every quiet comment from the front office feeds the curiosity. Will Boston strike when the timing is perfect? Will the player who once symbolized the grit and heart of this franchise wear green again? The answers are coming, and they could change everything. Until then, the Celtics continue to build patiently, stacking cost-controlled talent like Kendall Brown while keeping financial pathways open for a bold reunion. The league may think Boston is simply surviving a transitional year, but inside the walls of the organization, a plan is unfolding that could deliver a defensive anchor and a championship-caliber rotation all over again. Stay tuned, because this is not just a rumor, it is the next great chapter waiting to be written. The Celtics front office has been quietly moving chess pieces all summer, and the possible reunion with Robert Williams is only part of a much bigger game. Just as fans begin to imagine a healthy Williams anchoring the paint next season, another storyline is starting to burn even hotter. The name Anfernee Simons is now echoing across league circles, and Boston is right in the middle of a trade conversation that could send shockwaves through the NBA before the first whistle of training camp. Simons is not just another talented guard. At only 25 years old, he owns a scoring package that forces defenses to pick their poison. His lightning-quick first step, deep shooting range, and ability to create off the dribble have turned him into one of the most intriguing offensive weapons in the league. Front offices know that players with this kind of skill set rarely become available, and when they do, aggressive teams strike fast. Boston's interest is not about filling a roster spot. It is about seizing an opportunity that could tilt the balance of power in the Eastern Conference. Behind the scenes, the Celtics have been exploring trade scenarios from the moment Simons' name surfaced. Insiders close to the team describe a front office that is determined to stay flexible while Tatum recovers and to maximize every ounce of talent around Jaylen Brown. The key is timing. Training camp is approaching, and executives across the league understand that once players report, prices rise and options narrow. Boston's decision-makers are weighing the risk of waiting against the reward of making a bold move before other contenders can react. The curiosity only deepens because no one outside the inner circle knows the exact framework of potential deals. Are the Celtics looking to pair Simons with Brown and Tatum as a dynamic three-headed attack? Could they be maneuvering to use Simons as a bridge to an even bigger acquisition? Every leaked conversation adds fuel to the speculation, but leaves the ultimate answer just out of reach. Fans are left to wonder how far Brad Stevens is willing to go to secure a player whose offensive ceiling is still climbing. What makes this situation even more captivating is the contrast between Simons' explosive scoring and Boston's disciplined team-oriented culture. Some question how his ball-dominant style would blend with the Celtics system, while others see a perfect match that could unlock a faster, more unpredictable offense. Boston's coaching staff has a history of molding versatile guards into high-impact playoff performers, and Simons' combination of youth and polish offers a rare canvas for that development. Financially, the Celtics have options. With smart contract management and potential use of future picks, they can craft a trade package that keeps the core intact while adding a player who can light up a scoreboard. Simons is under contract on a deal that pays him $24 million annually through 2027, a number that looks increasingly reasonable as the salary cap continues to rise. For a team chasing championships, a controllable scorer entering his prime is exactly the kind of asset that can swing a postseason series. As the countdown to training camp continues, the stakes could not be higher. Boston has built a reputation for patience, but the combination of Tatum's temporary absence, the uncertainty in the frontcourt, and the rare availability of a player like Simons creates a perfect storm for decisive action. Every day that passes tightens the clock and heightens the drama. Will the Celtics pull the trigger before the market shifts, or will they hold their ground and trust the roster as it stands? The next few weeks will reveal whether this is simply a fascinating rumor or the prelude to a blockbuster move. For now, all eyes remain on Boston, where the possibility of pairing an elite young scorer with a championship-caliber core keeps rival teams uneasy and Celtics fans dreaming of another parade down Causeway Street. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in this saga, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and smash the hype button so you do not miss a single update as Boston prepares its next stunning move.